A new Nintendo Direct is confirmed to be coming this June, and before the merry-ides of March, the Nintendo Switch's successor will be unveiled. Fans online are all abuzz. Twitter is farming engagement about it, YouTube is flooded with pithy videos largely rephrasing the same things about it, and even the leakers have discovered a new trenchant hotness and claiming to know the indeterminate code names of new games underway. The hype has breached containment. I've been trying in recent years to avoid topical videos that lose relevance as quickly as this one will once that Direct comes out, but seeing as how I've not uploaded in a long while and other videos I've been idly working on ironically don't feel as timely now as they did when I started them, I figure this video can serve as my proverbial dipping of the toe back in the content making pool. What I want to do here is not exactly focus on this upcoming June Direct in particular, nor muse on my complete Switch playing experience thus far so as to put it to rest and make way for Switch 2. This video is somewhere between both, but not really either. Either. See, the June Direct is confirmed to not discuss anything Switch 2 related, so this may very well be the final Nintendo Direct whereby the Switch is Nintendo's sole console of focus. By the time we get another one, there's a good chance the Switch 2 will have been revealed and will thus get shared billing along with the Switch for future Directs till the Switch itself is phased out. If the 3DS was anything to go by, the arrival of a new console will kill most people's desire to play on the previous one. Samus Returns, Ever Oasis, Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, Mario Party Top 100, the Luigi's Mansion remake. Lots and lots of games that were released on 3DS in a post-Switch world were unanimously met with the criticism of, why isn't this on Switch? This makes me wonder, what is there actually left for me to want to come to Switch in a world that will soon have Switch 2? I mean, just personally speaking, my life is busy enough to the point I really don't mind going a while with no new games I feel I need to play. And I'm very happy with the Switch library. This doesn't mean all of my wants and wishes have been met, though. I definitely still want an ARMS sequel. I want a new AAA F-Zero, more new IPs, more revivals of dormant IPs like Excitebots, Codename Steam, Custom Robo, but do I really want those on the current Switch? When a new Nintendo console will soon arrive and almost certainly diminish those games' potential receptions if they were to release on the previous one? It is a bit of a sticky wicket, as the French say. After careful reflection of my time with the Switch throughout its nearly ending life, along with consideration for what I want to see on Nintendo's next console, whatever it may be, I've prepared a top 10 list of things I want to see come to the Switch before it dies. Which by extension means things I'd like to see in the upcoming June Direct. So everything can stay on the table and be enjoyed in a rewatch of this video when you consider that, even if the Direct is already passed and stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm so insecure. Why do I care? Number 10. Keep giving us NSO games. Even if you look purely at Nintendo's own titles, the NES, SNES, Game Boy, GBA, and N64 apps are still missing many games. And that's to say nothing of the third-party potential too. I believe it has been confirmed already that current Nintendo Online accounts will transfer to the next system, so it stands to reason that it will receive these libraries in full when it releases. But as for the current Switch, let it get all the same updates and let them persist for as long as possible. Number 9. It's not too late for themes. It's innocuous, I know, but the Switch has a dedicated themes page in the settings tab, and the only options are dark and light. How hard would it be to at least throw in some other solid colors, huh? I've made my peace with the fact we're not getting Nintendo Badge Arcade, and the new rotating profile icons go some percentage of the way of making me okay with that. But themes, man. Just a few more themes. Let me make my menus too! Number 8. As long as we're expecting more GameCube, Wii, and 3DS ports. Okay, I don't want to make a list within a list, so I'm gonna set the timer here for like 15 seconds and see how many I can name off the top of my head. I've got like a stopwatch. Okay, ready? One take. Here we go. Codename Steam, Freaky Forms, Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, Excitebots, Pushmo World, or really any of the Pushmo games, F-Zero GX, Custom Robo on the GameCube, or I guess any of it, just, Ever Oasis, Samus Returns. Number 7, begrudgingly, HD ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. This gets its own entry on the list separate from ports and remasters that I want, because I already have Twilight Princess on Wii and Wind Waker HD on Wii U. I would not buy these Switch ports if they happened. To be honest, there's a part of me that hopes they don't get ported to Switch just to leave a permanent scar on the reputations of all these hack leakers who've been saying they'd happen for the last 7 years. But there is another more reasonable side of me that does like the idea of every 3D Zelda to date being available on the Switch. And hey, if the next console's fully backwards compatible with the Switch, then it too will have access to every 3D Zelda to date, plus whatever one or ones come out in the future. That was an awkward take. Plus whatever one or ones come out for it in the future.
XS is nice.
Number 6. Metroid Prime 4 exclusively. It's very widely expected in Nintendo speculation circles that Metroid Prime 4 will simultaneously release for the current Switch and its successor in much the same way Breath of the Wild did on Wii U and Switch. But I'm actually starting to think I'd prefer it to just be a Switch game, and, if the Switch is backwards compatible with previous Switch games and maybe even enhances some or all of them, what's wrong with that? I mean, Metroid fanatics, I'm sure, will immediately say, here's what's wrong with that. Not launching on the next system will hurt its sales potential. Launch games sell better. Struth. And yeah, I suppose that's a good point, but alternatively, let's suppose that Metroid Prime 4 releases this holiday on the Switch alone. The Switch being a console that, despite pushing its 7th year, continues to sell millions of systems and millions of units of software. And 2024 being a year where none of the other big competitors, Sony, Microsoft, Capcom, FromSoft, etc., are releasing anything. I don't know, man, it sounds like a good window of opportunity to me. Plus, I think we all know at this point that Metroid's main audience are enthusiasts anyway. Unless Prime 4 is the Switch 2's only game at launch, which I highly doubt it would be if it were to release on it at all, I feel confident its sales potential isn't much greater than it would be releasing this holiday on the Switch. Long story short, I'd like to play Metroid Prime 4 already, please. Number 5. Something kinda like Bowser's Fury. Vague, I know, but here's my thinking. Bowser's Fury is a light, less than 10-hour single-player game built off the bones of a last-gen tentpole Mario 3D World. Seems to me that an experience like this shouldn't be too complicated to develop and release on the eShop for a budget price in a timely fashion. So maybe in a similar vein, they could take the Bowser assets from Mario Odyssey and make a spiffy little Bowser solo game with them. Or the Yoshi assets from Odyssey. Hell, he and Glydon can share billing on Yoshi's first 3D outing, even if it is a small affair. Or even aside from Mario games, look at something like Nintendo Land. Just take the attraction, the balloon trip attraction, and make some new levels, reskin the characters, bada bing, bada boom. New balloon fight game. It's been over 30 years. That'd be kind of cool, right? The idea of expanding on this idea could be a video of its own, but just bottom line, so long as Switch projects are winding down to make way for the next console, maybe now's a good time to experiment Bowser's Fury style. Number 4. Nintendo Selects. Nintendo has published nearly 70 titles that have exceeded 1 million units sold.
On the Switch, I almost forgot to mention that.
And the ones that sell really well just won't stop selling. So as the Switch prepares to bow out of the market while it's so close to being the best-selling home console of all time, maybe now's a good time to offer some of its big hits of yesteryear for a heavily discounted price to give it an extra push, Games like Xenoblade 2, Pokken Tournament, Astral Chain, Mario Maker 2, Metroid Dread, ARMS. These games have all sold well, but their numbers all plateaued long ago. But I bet there are thousands if not millions of customers still who'd pick these up if they came back on the shelf at an attractively low price. Number 3. Pikmin 4 DLC. The odds are looking fairly good that we won't have to wait too long for Nintendo's next console to get Pikmin 5. A Pikmin 2-styled sequel to Pikmin 4 that adds co-op along with new maps, caves, story, etc. is pretty much all it needs to be in my opinion. While we wait for that though, it'd be awfully nice to get a little something extra for the game we've got, don't you think? Mayhaps some Dandori challenges, online for the multiplayer, bingo battle, a Louis campaign in the style of Olimar Shipwreck Tale. Anything's good, honestly. I'll take 10. Number 2. F-Zero 99 expansion plus a physical release. This game is great, and it has given me hope that my dream of a brand new AAA F-Zero title isn't so far-fetched anymore. That said, I dread the day Nintendo drops support for the online servers, leaving us with only practice mode and memories of what once was if they leave us with anything. So an expansion to the game, ideally free, but I'd pay a small fee for it, that adds a heap of offline content, and even comes bundled in cartridge form on store shelves much the same way Tetris 99 did, would make me so very, very happy. This is like the thing I know for sure I want the Switch to get. Not the next console, the Switch. Well, that and number 1, a very specific sort of ARMS DLC. Hear me out. Okay, it's definitely too late for ARMS 2 to come out on the current Switch. If it truly does exist, Nintendo would be foolish not to save it for the next system. Still, EPD9 has gone so freaking long without a new title, and we're all pretty sure a new Mario Kart releasing near the next console's launch is one that they've been saving. And I can hope that ARMS 2 will be there too, but still, 7 years to develop both and just keep them under the hat all this time? Surely they've had a little time to also maybe, just a thought, make a little Octo expansion-like DLC story campaign for ARMS 1? One that mayhaps sets the stage for ARMS 2 releasing next year with the new console? One that costs a small fee to purchase but is included for free in the NSO expansion pass? One that brings with it a slew of new party crashes for the current player base? And another free online trial for NSO subscribers who missed out on the previous ones? It's a flip of the coin whether or not ARMS 2 was happening at all, let alone an expansion to ARMS 1 that primes players for it. But it is definitely the thing I can say for 100% sure I want to come to the Switch before it's phased out. So there's my list. Some of these things may happen, some may not, some may seem likely, some definitely are not. But hey, the fact the Switch's final years are upon us and I'm left wanting so little in the way of more games for it, not out of disdain for its architecture but love for its library, is awesome. There are definitely Wii U games I'm sad we never got. I'm telling you, codename Steam would have been a darling exclusive for it back in 2015. But the Switch has it all. New IPs, dormant revivals, innovations on legacy series. I can only hope the next console can deliver the same and then some. But for now, what do you want to see release on Switch at this point? Not the next console, but the Switch. Nah, who cares? Next console too. Just comment away to your heart's content.